Okay, so now that we have obliterated the Midway Castle, it's time to make a move onto this little puzzle, I guess you could say. Essentially, if you end up running into an enemy on the map, then you end up in one of these enemy little mini-game things. Let's just say I suck at them. Generally, if you fail, then you will have to you get chunked off the edge of the thing and have to do it all over again. So yeah, I'm really not very good at them. It's generally something that will hopefully improve before the end of the game, but I can certainly tell you that I will improve at these by the end of the game, because basically it's a lot of how do I put it? It's a lot of prediction, I guess. And that you've got to know where to go. Which is easier said than done. But it is possible to do. You've just got to figure it out. Now, I will be using and abusing all of the mushroom houses. No, this is a pretty damn easy level to, well, not level, mini-game to get what you want. Because all you need to do is make sure that you don't get a Bowser. And then you're sorted. I mean, obviously you are better off if you could get 2 of the things, but you're better off just kind of keeping an eye on the Toads and the Bowser one to make sure that you don't get that. Because that would mean that you don't get anything, and you want to make as much use of these wonderful things as possible. Now, I don't know why I'm using up my ice flower already, but oh well. Now, this level introduces us to Spikes, who I believe have been around for a reasonable amount of time. They're quite the pain in Super Mario Sticker Star. I dislike Super Mario Sticker Star, but big balls of death, I hate you. Now, I have to say, I'm really not a fan of desert levels in general. There's just something about them. They're just not very interesting, I guess, is kind of the point. Well, what I think. I mean, I'm really not sure how to describe it. I guess it could just be that it's the whole grey thing that I just really don't agree with. Well, it's not grey, it's just it's brown and yellow, and that's generally every single desert level that has ever existed. And I'm just not a fan of that colour pattern, I guess. Now, if I recall correctly, the only way to get all of the coins and also the secret exit in the game is to get the mini mushroom, which you can find somewhere, but I can't remember where it can be found. And bloody hell, that was close. To be perfectly honest, your best bet is generally to just play through the entirety of the level again, unless it's a really hard level, in which case avoid it at all costs. Or just, you know, you could always just skip the level. I'm generally sort of a really weird type of... Well, I guess I'm not a really weird type of completionist. It's reasonably common, I think. Where basically the desire is to finish everything or do the completion run of something as soon as it is available. I mean, it's certainly apparent in my playstyle of video games, in the sense that all of my whenever I do something, I always try and complete it as I go along. It's what I did here. It's also what I am doing in the current Tomb Raider game that was released recently, as of recording this commentary. It's basically just kind of the way my brain works best, I guess, is the best way to describe it. Also, yay, I'm loving all the super acorns. This is glorious. Unfortunately, we've got to go back into Spike's spouting sands. Oh. Damn it. I'm really not very good at keeping hold of what I want to keep hold of. It's better than it could have been. No. I really cannot remember where the... because basically what you need to do is you need to get the mini mushroom, which... it's always a fun little thing to grab hold of. Oh yes, this is it. You have to take the bottom... No, you don't have to take the bottom path? Or do you? I'm really confused. Oh, I do believe you've got to go down here. That's it. It's this little thing, little pipe hidden in a statue of a pipe. Now, I have to say, sort of using the mini mushroom is really fun in the few levels where it does appear. Largely because sort of you're running around at the speed of sound, you've got places to go, you've got to follow that rainbow. And it is just, like, so fun. Also, yeah, I'm kind of, being a wee bit of an idiot, because I needed to go in there, which is where the secret exit of the stage is. You can see why, because it has something which makes great use of the mini mushroom itself. Oh, that's so adorable of little mini Mario. It just works perfectly. He's like so uber cute and everything. It's brilliant. Now, there are quite a lot of cases of branching pathways in each of the worlds, which is good, but then it's kind of just like it wastes kind of the point. Now, I'm really not sure what these enemies here are. I do believe they are some type of spike, but not quite certain, because they're certainly not the standard spike coloration. And certainly not clubbers either. Oh, okay, these are variants of the stone spikes from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Actually, no, not variants, they are the stone spikes. So, yes, I do believe this is one of the only levels in which they appear. They are very irritating in this appearance, but I guess that's part of the challenge, and you want challenge. Oh, phew. Always feel at least a bit safer when I have a super acorn. Also, I just wasted that shell. Damn it. No, you will notice that there are times where I just kind of stand doing nothing. It's generally sort of I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. Now, this is a sneaky little star coin. Because basically you have really got to be very careful when you launch your power block. Because otherwise that star coin will go right down the hole. Never to be seen again until you play through the entire level. Which is wonderful. Are you going to give it to us? No. Never mind. That would have been really helpful, but clearly I'm just not, it was just not meant to be. I just was not meant to grab that star. Now, one thing that's really bizarre is kind of the, how basically some levels are really easy to complete, and others are just the biggest pain in the backside I have ever had the misfortune to come across. It's just a bizarre concoction of difficulty spikes in the levels, I guess is the best way to describe it. And, oh, wonderful, it's a Lakitu. Not quite sure how they want me to pronounce it, because it's either Lakitu, Lakitu? Yeah, I don't think it's ever been officially pronounced. So I'll just go with Lakitu. It works better for me. And also, star! Now I can just murder everything in my path. But unfortunately, not for too long, because I died quite horrendously. Now, when you die very frequently in a level, as you could see that I clearly did there, then that green exclamation mark block will turn up. And basically what it does is, I believe it gives you hints as to how to beat the level. Which is all fair and good. I just wish you to shut up. Because it's just like, yes, I know I'm dying. Yes, I will be able to do this eventually. Just give me time. I will do it. Stop yelling at me. I just want to play the level, please. Also, damn lemon huge piranha plants. Why must you get in my way?
Oh yeah, Mario time.
And before we go and take on the castle, it's now time for something completely different. Yes, the secret level of the desert level is an ice level. Wonderful. That just makes so much sense. Now, I have to... I'm quite a fan of this stage in sort of... It's a very interesting idea. In that you've got to... you've got the Venus fire traps shooting fire at the ice to cause it to fall down, and you've got to kind of time your jumps well enough to land on them, or kind of scoot into stuff before they crush you because of what they do. It's a really interesting concept for a level. Whether you say it's very well put together is a different matter, because some of it is just a bit of a pain. I mean, like, you've got just certain little bits of the stage that it's just like, no, this is not fair. This is particularly the case for the last star coin, which requires such precise platforming to reach that it took me numerous goes. This bit here is not as difficult, because you can generally reach the star coin with relative ease. Obviously I got hit, but I'm sure you lot can do better, because as I've said before, I'm not very good at 2D Mario games. Now this is the bit that's really horrible, and that you've got to be so precise in your jumping and your timing, because you've got to get to the last star coin block before you can beat the level. And let's just say, it's easier said than done.
Mario time.
It's definitely easier with a Super Acorn, I can tell you that much. Because you've got the ability to do the swoop, so you've got a bit more time to save yourself. If I recall correctly, that is how I will be being successful in the next thing. Also, I love how we pretty much are able to skip straight to World 5 from both Worlds 1 and 2. So it's a bit like, oh, very helpful. So let's get that final star coin, shall we? Now, I really can't remember how I go about. I think I just get the jump. I believe that's how it went down in the end. It's been so long since I've recorded this. It seems to be a really running theme. I spend quite a lot of time between recording and yes, I just got the jump, so all good. Yeah, I spend so long between recording the footage and recording the commentary that I just completely forget
Oh yeah, Mario time.
what happens. Which means I probably should watch through my footage before I do the commentary, but that would never be as fun, would it? Oh dear. Anyway, let us go take down the castle.
Let's go.
Oh no, we've got to catch Nabbit, who has just turned up. So yeah, this is one of the other levels where Nabbit is likely to turn up. Once again, it's obviously much easier if you have the wonderful joy that is Star. Now, the things that the Lactors are throwing at us are called Gorindai, which are an alternate to the spiny eggs that they normally throw. And they grow into piranha plants upon landing. So they're an interesting little thing to be faced with. Really bizarre name. I'm surprised they didn't give it a different name, but clearly they got too lazy. So they just gave it just a really bizarre and random name. And for that, we get another P acorn! Yay! I will explain these later on when I actually use one of them. My plan initially was, oh yeah, I will save up my P acorns and not use them ever until the end of the game. I pretty soon after changed my attitude. So the boss of World 2 is Morton Cooper Jr., who, along with the rest of the Koopalings, first appeared in Super Mario Bros. 3 in 1988. When we eventually reach him. He's also voiced by Lanny Minella. I think this is a running theme with the Koopalings. It's different language names. It's Moto in Japanese, Bogtas Koopa in Spanish. I believe it's Grochmol Koopa, but I don't know. But both the Spanish and the German mean Big Mouth Koopa. And then Korean is Moton, which is... So pretty much in every case it's Morton. Although, I find it bizarre that it's Morton Cooper Jr. Because, like, none of the other kind of... I don't believe there are any other Koopa siblings called Morton. Or whatever. But anyway, he's named after the famed talk show host and singer-songwriter Morton Downey Jr. Apparently the reason for the inclusion, the junior at the end of the name, was a point of confusion when he was first introduced as one of Bowser's children. But apparently the editors of Nintendo Power once claimed that when they asked Bowser why Morton Koopa was called Junior, he responded by pelting them with bombs. So, but however, since Miyamoto's statement about the Koopalings not being Bowser's children, the name Morton may be the fact that Morton Koopa Jr. may be the fact that his actual dad is called Morton Koopa Sr. So that kind of explains that one, which is quite cool. And he's actually the largest of the Koopalings, but he's not quite as powerful. So yeah, I haven't really spoken much about this level. It's quite a fun level. It's generally the case with a lot of the castles, but some of them are just perhaps a wee bit too difficult for their own good. Also, I hate instant death crushing. Never been a fan of it, if you ask me. It's just not very fun. Anyway, generally at the end of each castle, you will find a question mark block, or a hidden question mark block that you can use to get extra power up. So either a super mushroom or it's generally a fire flower. But I think sometimes it might be an ice flower. I think mostly a fire flower. But either way, come on, Morton, with your massive hammer. So now, Morton here it looks difficult and in many cases is a pain because obviously he's using the pokey, but he's actually very, very easy to abuse, shall we say, because when he kind of gets up, you can just jump on him before he summons his pokey, and then you don't have to go through that whole awkward phase again. Which makes him very, very simple to defeat in comparison to some of his siblings. So, yes, so that is World 2 done. 100% completed. Hell yes. So I do believe that means that it's time to move on to World 3, which I believe is Sparkling Waters, which we will be moving to very shortly. Woohoo!